They'll laugh at you. Not because you're weak, or stupid, or incapable, but because your existence threatens the part of them that never had the courage to try. People laugh at what they don't understand. And they especially laugh at what they secretly wish they had the strength to be. When you start moving differently, the world reacts. When you say no. When you choose discipline over distraction. When you walk away from the comfort they worship. They don't clap. They criticize. Because your ambition exposes their excuses. Understand this. The moment you decide to change your life, you become a mirror. A mirror that reflects everything they are not willing to confront. Your effort highlights their laziness. Your hunger highlights their complacency. Your courage highlights their fear. And instead of improving, they laugh. Mockery is their shield. Ridicule is their comfort zone. Their laughter isn't about you. It's a desperate attempt to protect the fragile identity they've built around mediocrity. They don't want you to rise because your rise reminds them they chose not to. So they'll tell you you're dreaming too big. They'll say you've changed. As if that's something bad. They'll question your goals, your plans, your priorities. They'll tell you you're wasting your time. That you're obsessed. That you're doing too much. And when you start losing friends, don't panic. You're not losing friends. You're shedding people who were never meant to stay on the path you're walking now. Your transformation threatens their stagnation. Your discipline threatens their comfort. Your silence threatens their insecurity. Your ambition threatens their laziness. So they laugh. They laugh because they think your beginning is your ending. Because they've only seen your first step, not the mountain you're climbing. They see the early mornings, the isolation, the struggle, the uncertainty. But they don't see the fire burning inside you. They don't see the reason you started. They don't see the vision you carry. They don't see the future you're building in silence. They don't see the sacrifices you've accepted. They don't see the version of yourself you're becoming. In the beginning, everything looks impossible. Not because it is, but because you're surrounded by people who have never tried. They were trained to fear the unknown. You were born to conquer it. You must understand something crucial. Most people are spectators, not players. They watch life happen. They comment. They judge. They ridicule. But they never step into the arena. And when someone like you finally enters the arena, bloodied, uncertain, but determined, they react the only way they know how. With laughter. Because if you succeed, their entire identity collapses. It proves that their excuses were lies. That their fear wasn't protection. It was paralysis. That their comfort wasn't stability. It was a cage. So they laugh to protect themselves from the truth. But here's the part they'll never admit. They're watching you. Every move. Every post. Every improvement. They watch because deep down, they want you to succeed. Because if you succeed, it means they could have succeeded too. It means greatness was possible all along. It means the limits they believed in were never real. But instead of trying, they laugh. And you must learn to let them. Laughter is temporary. Success is permanent. Remember this. People laugh at the beginning of every great story. They laughed at the first airplane. They laughed at the first electric car. They laughed at the first people who said the world would change. They laughed because they couldn't see what the visionary saw. They laughed because their minds were too small for new possibilities. Every great champion was laughed at. Every great creator mocked. Every great mind doubted. Every great dream ridiculed. Not because the dream was wrong, but because the world wasn't ready for it yet. So let them laugh. Let them doubt. Let them whisper. Let them underestimate you. Let them call you crazy, delusional, unrealistic. They're supposed to. It's part of the process. Mockery is the soundtrack of the early stages of greatness. Because when the results come, when discipline compounds, when consistency builds momentum, when silence transforms into power, that laughter will fade. It always does. Your job is not to convince them. Your job is not to respond to them. Your job is not to explain yourself. Your job is simple. Keep going. There will come a day much sooner than they expect, when the same people who laughed will watch you rise, and they won't have anything left to say. Because the world laughs at those who try. Until the day they win. They laughed at you in the beginning. But the beginning is not where legends are made. The real transformation happens in the shadows. In that silent phase of the journey that nobody sees, nobody respects, and nobody understands. This is the part where you disappear. Not because you're lost, but because you're finally focused. This is where you turn off your phone. Cut out the noise. Step away from the crowds. And walk into the darkness alone. They think you quit. They think you gave up. They think the silence means defeat. But the silence is where the war truly begins. It's in the silence where you meet the real enemy. Your own doubt, your own fear, your own past. It's in the silence where you confront the version of yourself who always settled, who always delayed, who always ran from responsibility. This part of the journey is brutal. It's not glamorous. It's not pretty. It's not motivational. It's the grind, the repetition, the exhaustion, the nights where you cry quietly, and the mornings where you force yourself out of bed with nothing but willpower. People think success happens when others are watching. They're wrong. Success happens when nobody sees, when nobody claps, when nobody believes, when nobody helps, when nobody even notices. The hardest part of becoming someone new is the loneliness that comes with it. You start cutting out everything that made you weak. The habits, the distractions, the people. And suddenly your world becomes smaller, but sharper, quieter, but clearer. You stop wasting time. You stop pleasing everyone. You stop caring what they think. You stop letting their opinions control your path. And that's when they really start to talk. Because people can handle your dreams as long as you're not doing anything about them. But the moment you take action, the moment you become serious, the moment you show discipline, they panic. Your effort exposes their comfort. Your improvement exposes their stagnation. Your silence exposes their emptiness. They don't laugh because they're confident. They laugh because they're afraid. Afraid that you might become everything they never had the courage to be. And while they laugh, you work. While they gossip, You build. While they doubt, you evolve. While they rest, you rise. This is the part where you learn what true discipline feels like. It's not motivation. It's not excitement. It's not passion. It's doing what needs to be done. Long after the feeling to do it has disappeared. It's choosing growth over pleasure. Purpose over comfort. Silence over approval. It's drinking coffee at midnight. Because you're still grinding. While the rest of the world sleeps. It's waking up at dawn. With a body that hurts. But a spirit that refuses to die. It's saying no 10 times more than you say yes. No to distractions. No to instant gratification. No to pointless conversations. No to anything that pulls you away from who you're trying to become. Because the version of you who could be distracted is gone. The version of you who cared about opinions is gone. The version of you who needed validation is gone. And that evolution terrifies people. They wanted you predictable. They wanted you comfortable. They wanted you just like them. Because that made them feel better about their own choices. But now you're becoming someone else. Someone they can't control. Can't discourage. Can't manipulate. This phase is where you build the habits that will carry you for the rest of your life. This is where you embrace boredom as a weapon. Where you learn that greatness isn't built in big moments, but in repeating the small, difficult things. Every single day. Without applause, without recognition, without reward. This is the phase where your circle shrinks to almost nothing. Not because you hate people, but because you value your future more than pointless company. The people who mocked you will now start to wonder where you went. They'll whisper your name with curiosity. They'll check your social media more than they'd ever admit. They'll watch for signs that you quit. Because that would comfort them. But you didn't quit. You just stopped performing for an audience. They mistake your silence for weakness. They mistake your focus for failure. They mistake your absence for surrender. But the truth is, you were never more dangerous. Because the person who thrives in the dark cannot be stopped when they step into the light. This phase, the lonely, brutal, unseen phase, is where you outgrow the version of yourself they used to laugh at. You become stronger. You become sharper. You become ruthless with your time. You become obsessed with your purpose. You become unrecognizable. And that's the point. They laugh because they think they know you. But they don't know the version of you that is being built right now. The version that will walk out of the shadows with a power they never believed you could have. Let them laugh. Let them misunderstand. Let them doubt. You're not done yet. This is only the dark phase. The phase where legends are built. In silence. Because soon, very soon, the results will speak louder than their laughter ever did. There comes a moment in every journey where everything shifts. A moment where the laughter stops sounding so loud. And your progress starts speaking for you. A moment where the same people who mocked you begin to watch you with quiet fear. Because something in you is changed. Your energy, your posture, your discipline, your focus. They can sense it. They can feel it. They don't understand it. But they know something powerful is coming. This is the moment where the world realizes. You weren't playing. You weren't pretending. You weren't chasing a fantasy. You were building a new reality. Brick by brick. In silence. They thought your silence meant defeat. But it meant preparation. They thought your absence meant weakness. But it meant evolution. They thought your discipline was temporary. But you transformed it into identity. And now, slowly, the results start to appear. Small at first, unnoticed by most. But undeniable to anyone who pays attention. Your body changes. Your habits change. Your finances change. Your social circle changes. Your entire presence changes. You walk differently. Not faster, but with purpose. You speak differently. Not louder, but with certainty. You think differently. Not about what you want, but about who you must become to earn it. This is the part of the journey where your growth becomes visible. Not completely, not dramatically, but enough for the ones who doubted you to start wondering. They won't admit it out loud, but deep down they feel it. The shift, the momentum, the pressure. The same people who called you unrealistic now say things like, "Wow, you're different. You seem more focused. I didn't expect you to stick with it. Maybe you really can do it." These small comments are the cracks forming in their disbelief. And soon, the cracks will turn into silence. A silence not caused by ignorance, but by fear. Fear that you're becoming the person they always hoped you would fail to be. Fear that you're proving them wrong. Fear that the excuses they worshipped are being destroyed by your example. This is the moment most people quit. Not because they fail, but because they can't handle the pressure of transformation. But you continue. Because now you've tasted the truth. Discipline works. Silence works. Consistency works. Self-respect works. Every day you choose to move forward adds another layer to your power. Another layer to your confidence. Another layer to your destiny. People think success arrives suddenly, like a lottery win or a miracle. But success doesn't explode. It builds. Slowly. Quietly. Relentlessly. Day by day. Habit by habit. Sacrifice by sacrifice. And then one day, everything clicks. The results align. The opportunities appear. The momentum becomes unstoppable. This is when they stop laughing. When the world finally realizes you're no longer the person they mocked. You're not even close. This is when you become the version of yourself they never believed you could be. The version of yourself you always knew you were capable of becoming. And here's the beautiful part. You won't even feel the need to prove them wrong anymore. Why? Because you'll be too focused on everything that's going right. Their opinions won't matter. Their jokes won't matter. Their disbelief won't matter. You'll have outgrown the need to be understood. Because power changes your relationship with noise. You hear it, but it no longer enters you. It no longer controls you. It no longer hurts you. Their laughter becomes irrelevant. Their judgment becomes meaningless. Their doubt becomes fuel. And one day, without warning, your success will be too big to ignore. Your discipline will be obvious. Your growth undeniable. Your transformation visible from miles away. The same people who laughed will fall silent. Some will pretend they always believed in you. Some will avoid you out of shame. Some will envy you quietly. Some will admire you secretly. But all of them, every single one, will know the truth. You won. Not because you were lucky. Not because you were gifted. Not because you had support. But because you didn't stop. Because you kept going. When it was hard. When it was lonely. When it was dark. When it felt hopeless. When nobody believed in you. When nobody helped you. When nobody understood. Because you had something they didn't. The courage to start. And the resilience to continue. And now, as you rise, you'll understand something profound. Their laughter was never about you. It was about them. Their fear. Their insecurity. Their limitations. You were never the joke. You were the threat. A threat to everything inside them that refused to grow. So stand tall. Walk forward. Keep building. Keep rising. Because soon the world will see exactly who you are. A warrior forged in silence. Driven by purpose. Powered by discipline. And unstoppable in your pursuit. They laughed at you in the beginning. But they won't laugh at you in the end. Because the world always laughs. Until the moment you win.